can't say I've been saying because we're not done yet, are we? Welcome in to the show. I wish we were done. I tell you who is done. Bayer Leverkusen are done, aren't they? Bayer Leverkusen are cooked, man. Cooked, man. Innit? Is this what the kids say it these days? You cooked, man. They're cooked. They're cooked. Welcome into the show. His name's Gonzo. My name's Craig. And we are here to react to all the fixtures that happened over Easter weekend in the Bundesliga. Match day 30, I recall. Yes, it was match day 30, I like to recall. Some of it I watched, some of it we caught up with through watch-alongs, some of it we watched some highlight reels, because we're not in Germany, we're in the UK, we're in the north, or we're in the Midlands. Depends upon your perspective. Shout out there, the Tough Man 10, the Tough Man 10. This is a VOD. We will be live streaming later. I suppose depending upon when you watch this, it's still true, isn't it? It'll still be true. On a technicality, Your Honour, it'll still be true. We will be streaming later. Like I say, we do talk about the Bundesliga. We are reacting. Wow, it was a long weekend, wasn't it? It was the Easter weekend. So we had the holy day of Good Friday, or Karfreitag, I believe that's how you say it in German, the holy day of Friday, where you could do nothing throughout the whole of Germany, except, I think we found out you could go to the zoo. So you could nurture a capybara or tickle a toucan under its beak. You couldn't do much else until Saturday, until the Bundesliga rolled around. I believe there were 5 games. Is that right? 5 games? Do you know what? Let's just jump straight into this, because this is why you're here, innit? You came here not to see this current season's AC Milan shirt with Christian Pulisic on the back. Well, not his full name, because otherwise it'd be wrapped around, unless it was in a tiny font. Still, it's expensive per letter. Anyway, there was 5 fixtures on the... 6, actually. 6 on the Saturday, because I forgot about the Top Spiel game. There were 6 fixtures, not easy for me to say with my dentures. 6 fixtures on the Saturday, 3 on the Sunday. No, I say nothing on the Friday because it was a holy day. And in between all that, we lost him, didn't we? We lost the Pope. He died 88 of pneumonia, apparently. But he came out on that balcony for one last time, unless that was a use of Elon Musk's AI. How do you know, right? Was it a deep fake? Did it actually happen? I suppose we could ask people that were actually there. We asked this on a live stream as well, just going off on a tangent already, because we're 3 minutes in. If the Pope supported a football team, what would it be? Some bright wag in the chat yesterday suggested it would be Portsmouth because of Pompey, which was very clever. I was trying to get to Up Pompeii FC. I don't know if they're real, but it sounds like they should be. They're probably a non-league, probably a provincial non-league team, aren't they? Pompeii FC. And I know how old some of you are because I look at the analytics. Some of you are slightly more mature. Well, everyone's more mature than me. Fucking hell, what am I doing? I'm sat here in the middle of the day on a Tuesday when most people are at work. Opening stickers, entertaining young children and kidults. Yeah, so what can I say? Most people are older than me. What I'm trying to say is, I was trying to get to Frankie Howard because he was a famous English comedian / actor who was in Up Pompeii, the film. I couldn't get to that. I ended up going to Frankie Carson, the Irish comedian, also no longer with us. Not as funny as Dave Allen, but anyway, we'll move on from comedy, shall we? Let's come back to the Bundesliga. Let's start with one of the headline games. Let's start with this one here. Frank Schmidt, I'll do it just for shits and giggles. Anybody know what's wrong with him? If you do, leave it in the comments down below. We've got a Discord as well. I always need to point that one out. The Discord link will be also in the description box down below. 3 rules for the Discord. Very simple. No religion, no politics. And if you're going to laugh, you're going to make a funny, you're going to share a meme, you're going to lol, do it with us, right? Don't do it at us. Do it with us, because it's a very inclusive group, very social group. Yeah, one where we can all lean on each other, because men cry too. Anyway, link to the Discord down below. Let's come back to what you know. Oh, I love Embrace. Saw them last year in that there hall, which is not in the Midlands. Right, let's start with this game here, look. Just flick that button there. Make sure you're on this journey with us. And it looks like you are. Yeah, it looks like you are. Right, FC Heidenheim. Frank Schmidt, he's the boss. He's been there for what? He was a player. And now he's managed. And I think he's been there for 704 games. Clap that in. Well done, Frank Schmidt. Now, this was a routine away win. Our prediction, by the way, and I'll have to close that sucker down. I'll have to close that window down. Our prediction going into this game was it was going to be a 3-1 away win. Now, that was coming off the back of Thomas Muller's last ever game in the Champions League. Even though they drew on the night, technically they didn't lose, did they? Munich against Inter. We might have to edit that one out. Do you know what? We probably won't because we're against the clock. And I tell you who was up against the clock yesterday, who took the piss out of the clock, was Preston North End. Yes, Paul Higginbottom, take a good damn hard look at yourself. All that fucking time wasted in the first half, and you didn't know where to throw the ball into, and your keeper wasn't sure which channel to kick it in. Came back to haunt you in the end, didn't it? Because you got a yellow card, as did your assistant manager. I love the hats, by the way, that Gentry Day, where you make a glowing tribute to your fans that have fallen. But fucking hell, hats off to you giving us 3 points for those 2 penalties. So yeah, there's a lesson in time wasting because it bites you in the arse. No disrespect to Preston fans. There is a scarf over there. I've been to Preston quite a few times this season, 2004, 2005, to watch Arsenal, to watch Preston games. Yeah, a lot of respect. Deepdale, the Invincibles, you know. Only the second team in the world to count themselves Invincibles. Absolutely. But that time wasting was fucking disgusting. It caught you out in the end, didn't it? Anyway, right, back to this. Let's not get all the hate. I say that because we are I always forget where to point. There we go. Look, where's it gone? Not AC Milan. There we go. Look. We are proud Hull City season ticket holders. One more game to go at home. It's against Derby this weekend in a sect-puncter, a 6-pointer. Because Hull won, thanks to Preston's 2 penalties that they conceded. But everybody else down there won as well, except Cardiff. Sorry, Taftman10, go follow him on Twitch. Cardiff, yeah, you were winning, but you bottled it and you drew 1-1. That's despite bringing in Aaron Ramsey, to try and lift your spirits and motivate you and keep you up. It didn't work, did it? Because with 2 games to go, we're all still fighting for our lives. Anyway, no more time wasting, please, Paul Higginbottom and Preston, because it will catch you out in the end. That's karma. That is karma. Good right back though. Forget his name, but he was quite tasty. So that was our prediction for Heidenheim Munich. This could be a live stream because all the structure's gone out of the window. Cliche belt already. Right. Back to the Bundesliga. So it was routine, wasn't it? Effectively, you've probably seen the highlights. I can quickly talk you through the goals. We could look at the lineups. That'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it? We should probably start there because that's what other content creators would do. There's your lineups. I'm not going to call it out because you can see it on the screen. But the interesting changes, we're going through changes. I believe that was Ozzy Osbourne. Interesting at the back for Munich. Conrad Laimer still stuck there at right back. How influential was he, though, in this game? We'll come on to that, because everybody shits on Conrad Laimer. Anybody whose name is Conrad, and if you spell it with a K, clap that mother chucker in. The change at the back. Out went Min-Jae Kim. In came Josip Stanisic was moved into the middle to partner Eric Dyer. Mr. Guerrero, when he came into left back, Pavasic, that's beautiful. I mean, again, we're not even Bayern Munich fans, but it's beautiful to see someone that seems to be plagued with illness. Not just injuries, not just bumps and bruises and niggles, but like a deep line injury. It's brilliant to see him back. He is literally a star for the future, not just for Germany, but just for all of football's future. Yes, the whole of the future of football hangs on the health of Alexander Pavlovic. Brilliant to see Kingsley Coman back. And Serge Gnabry, according to this lineup, and I suppose it was technically true, was playing up on the left alongside Harry Kane. Harry Kane to us in that football manager parlance is a deep line forward. I assume that Gnabry would be an inside right, but you've already got a left side, but you've already got one of them in Coman, so what do I fucking know? Anyway, most of my saves don't go anywhere. That's not true. We're doing quite well with Werder Bremen. rocky start in the dressing room. Every fucker hated me from the first meeting because I was convinced that we could finish in the top half of the table, but they didn't like it. And just on a slight side note, because we're good at doing that on this channel, who's in that squad? If any Werder Bremen fans are watching this, this might haunt you because you let this one go, didn't you? Nick Voldemort, or Voldemort from Harry Potter, not Harry Kane. That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? Harry Kane and the Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's usually Harry Kane and the Trophy Bottler, isn't it? But not this year. It looks like it's coming home. We're all over the place today. It was a long weekend. Right, back to the football. Yeah, Gnabry playing as a slight, I'd say what, wide-ish target. He's not a target, man. He's playing up front with Harry Kane. He's playing off him. And fucking hell, what a game he had. And what a game he had in the Classica. Gnabry, as everyone keeps telling me, people like Liam and Zia and the other lad that's a Juve fan who swears a lot, but that's okay because it's a sign of a strong vocabulary. They're all saying this is Gnabry. Peak Gnabry, innit? It's what the kids say as well, innit? He's peak. He's peak, brother. He's peak. He's peak, brother. He's peak Gnabry of 2020 COVID. Hopefully didn't catch it. But no signs of that, though, is there, really? Because Gnabry, he's literally playing like a disco funk brother, isn't he? Fucking hell, he had a great game. That's the lineup. Heidenheim. Yeah, as it was. Young Franz Kratzik, by the way, on loan from Bayern Munich. Was Paul Wanner was on the bench. He did come on, look. He did come on. He's another one for the future, but not like the saviour of football that is Alexander Pavlovich. We're going to have to get his shirt with his name on the back. And that was the result. Again, you've probably seen the goals, the highlights. Conrad Lima, by the way, everyone keeps shitting on him. Again, Conrad, anyone called Conrad, especially Conrad with a K, he was involved in the build-up to that goal. Elise will get the assist. And again, we spent some time on the weekend with some Crystal Palace fans who didn't seem to know who fucking Joel Ward was, though. And that's a side note, and that'll be a link to the stickers that we're opening on stream. If you can see all these stickers, he didn't know who Joel Ward was, and that was like, come on, man. So if anyone's out there that's a Palace fan, tell me in as many words as you want, or as little as words possible. Tell me about Joel Ward, because we keep unpacking him on the stickers and we've got no idea who this guy is. Anyway, back to the football. So, Michael Elise, if only he had a right foot, fucking hell, he'd be the top scorer in Europe and Bayern Munich would still be in the Champions League. Anyway, Conrad Lima was involved in an assist for that opening goal. As you'll see, you watch the pattern of play that it comes from Elise to Lima, back to Elise, he slits that ball further on to Harry Kane. On his left foot, looks up, turns, shoots, bottom corner. Clap that in. Now, I know it was Heidenheim, but what do we say on this channel? And Zia always agrees with me, as does Pot on the Shades. You can only play with what's in front of you. You can only beat the team that you're up against. Whether that is St Pauli, whether that is... Well, he didn't beat Bochum, did they? But you know what I mean. But like, whether it is St Pauli... Whether it's Augsburg, whether it's Heidenheim, you can only play and turn up and play against the team that turns up. And actually, it didn't feel like Heidenheim did turn up, did they? Because they were 2-0 down within 20 minutes. And who scored that goal? Conrad Lima. Yeah? Conrad Lima with a brilliant goal. I believe that assist came from Gnabry. Yeah, it did, yeah. What a run, by the way, from Lima, because what is he? He's a natural midfielder. He's inverted. He looked across, saw that Gnabry was on the ball, made the run. It wasn't offside. Runs through on goal. God, he could have sat down, tucked a napkin in his shirt, opened a can. Oh, we did that on the weekend, didn't we? We were asking what... if you invited Thomas Frank round for a drink, what would he be drinking? I'm still waiting for a reply from Brentford FC on that one. Not sure we'll get it, considering that my clip was titled Thomas Frank, Raging Alcoholic. Because I made the point that it depends on which time of day he turns up, what he's drinking. Unless he's a raging alcoholic, that was the punchline, which I came up with off my dome, to quote Goldie Looking Shade. Anyway, Lima runs through. He had time to sit down, put a camping table out, a little stool, tuck a napkin in to keep his shit nice and clean, pop open a drink, have a little bite of a sausage, and then put it past Kevin Muller for 2-0. 2-0 became 3-0. The first half was just boss, won it by Bayern. Kingsley Coman scored from a very acute angle. In fact, as a former goalkeeper, he had no right to score from that angle. Now, the commentator, I'm not quite... sure who that was. Wasn't Ian Dark. It was somebody younger. he made the defence for Kevin Muller that the summer's in his eyes, in which case, wear a Bruce Grobbelaar cap. You know, they've got caps in the club shop. You know, or borrow it off a ball boy or boy girl. It's a very inclusive channel. And talking of inclusivity, you are welcome to join our Discord. The link is in the description. 3 rules. No politics, no religion, and you laugh. Please laugh with us, not at us. Come on, it's a fucking harsh world out there. Sorry, pointing out that world because that's the front window. It's harsh out there. Bills, more bills. Cost of living's going up all the time. We're using football as an escape mechanism. Don't tax the fuck out of it, and don't beat each other up. Be nice to each other, because it's harsh out there. So that's the 3rd rule. If you're going to laugh, don't laugh at us. Laugh with us. Anyway, Kingsley Coman was laughing, wasn't he? As was the rest of the team. He shouldn't have scored from that angle. It was too tight. Kevin Muller should really have saved it. Again, if the summer's in your eyes, go and fucking buy a cat, mate. And just on a related note, Amrabat. Yeah, ex-Manchester United, playing on the left wing for Hull City. Well, left of midfield, very tight to the touchline. Amrabat, fucking hell, like, clap that in, right? Play with the match, like, play with the match on the bank holiday, on public holiday, in that win against Preston. Oh my God, though, their right back was like just constantly trying to rip his shirt off. I said to Nigel, it's not his real name, next to me, for safety reasons, we'll call him Nigel. I said, look, if I was Amrabat, I'd have turned to that defender and gone, look, you got 2 choices, mate. You either take this one off me or fucking get one in the club shop. Which way is it going to be? But if you touch it one more time, I'm going to megs you, I'm going to embarrass you, and I'm going to make everyone laugh at you. And do you know what? He did. Clap it in again. Amrabat at 38 years of age, still playing, I'd say, at the elite level. It's the Championship and Hull down at the bottom. But he was making the younger lads, including that Iceland. Is he Icelandic, number 22? Not Good Johnson. It's going to be something good son, isn't it? Because he's from that part of the world. He was pretty tasty, as was the right back. But yeah, Amrabat at 38, bossing that midfield. And if I was him, as a joke at the end of it, I'd have gone off and give that right back my shirt. Back to this game, talking about shirts off your back. Joshua Kimmich with the 4th goal. Again, he had time to look up and pick his spot and place it into the bottom corner. That was in a crowded scene. I believe it was Kingsley Coman that was involved in setting that goal. He was stuck in the weeds in that sort of left corner flag position in the John Voight arena. It's not John Voight, is it? He was an actor, and a very iconic actor of both the screen, and the stage. They played the character in Mission Impossible films. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. In that first one, spoiler! In that very first Mission Impossible film where they rip the head masks off and all that latex reveals like the other character. Anyway, that's how I remember John Voight. It wasn't the John Voight arena, it's the Voight arena, but it looked like John Voight, and I was trying to make it funny. And a bit unlike Sully in that movie, my comment didn't really land, did it? Didn't land in the Hudson. No, probably landed on the airport, on the tarmac. So all 250 passengers got home safely. With PTSD, but they got home in the end. And what got home in the end for Munich, apart from the travelling fans, 3 points. Which, according to our maths, puts them 2 wins away from stealing the salad bowl, the old MEISTERSCHALE, the title, the Bundesliga title. 2 more wins, and that title's Munich's. And why are we in that position? Why are we in that position? I'll tell you why we're in that position. ST PAULI. That's why we're in that position. We're in that position, aren't we? Because of ST PAULI, because of this game. And VAR did come to the blushes of Xabi Alonso at one point. Yes, Leverkusen. Let's have a look at the lineup before we get too excited. There you go. There's the lineups. Conor Metcalfe, the Australian, playing as part of a front 3 for ST PAULI alongside Luxembourgian. Is that how you would say it? Luxembourgian? It's from Luxembourg. Daniel Sinani and Gulivogu. We don't know much about him, but we're still learning. That was the front 3. Yeah, you can... The big glaring omission, by the way, was Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. No Jackson Irvine. He's not black, by the way. He's Australian. He's white. No Jackson Irvine in that midfield, by the way, for ST PAULI. And then looking at Bayer Leverkusen, what's Xabi gone with? Well, it's a class. Well, Florian Wirtz was back. So we should clap that in. Ex-Burnley, they've just gone back up to the Premier League as well. Let's clap that one in. Who's choked this time around? Sheffield United. Who was ex-Sheffield United manager? Paul Higginbottom. There you go. So your time wasted. And your time wasting as karma has come back to get you, hasn't it? Because you lost that game against Hull. Your former team that you manage have missed out on automatic promotion to the Premier League. Don't time waste. That's your lesson. Right, we'll move on. Anyway, Nathan Teller, ex-Burnley up front with Patrick Schick. Florian Wirtz in that hole, in that pocket, in that number 10 space. Not an amazing game for him, but to be fair, this is only his first full 90 minutes back after a 5-week layoff. And that's hurt Leverkusen. I'm not saying they're a one-person team, sorry, because it's not a woke channel, is it? This is a socially inclusive channel. Not saying, no, fuck it, it's a man's game. Your women have got their own game, haven't they? They've got their own equality, and that's brilliant. That's how life should be. In the man's game, I'm not saying Leverkusen are a one-man team, but they've missed him over those 5 games that he's been out. They've scratched a few results. They've won 1-0 here and there. And some games have struggled completely. You know, Florian Wirtz, I believe his last game, I believe his last game was that 4-3 epic fucking comeback against Stuttgart. And he's been out injured pretty much since. And their form has dipped. So there is a correlation. So I could validate that claim that they're a one-man team. He's back. Anyway, he was involved. They were 1-0 up. Good to see Xhaka. We had an interesting fact as well. I did not know. Now then, Jimmy Sample. No, we can't have that on this show, can we? We'll have to cut that one out. That Xhaka had a brother who plays football, a younger brother who plays in Switzerland, potentially for FC Basel. They're not the team they used to be, though, are they? They're not the dominant team. And I learnt that through GBW opening sticker packs. What a beautiful segue. We open sticker packs too. This is a VOD, by the way. Thank you for joining us. If you have found it, please like and subscribe. I am doing this full time. My name is Craig. I dropped out of the video games industry where I was in it for 20 years. Worked on some of the most iconic games possible. Not as a designer, no, but don't sully me. Don't dismiss the fact that just because I never had a pencil behind me and I could draw maps that I did nothing. Fucking hell, I was instrumental in some of the biggest games that you've never heard of, including the 2019 World Championship Snooker, officially licensed game. Not bad for someone that's colourblind who made the fucking nightmare. Like, made it a nightmare for the design team. I didn't touch any of the design because I'm colourblind and that's not my bag, baby. I'm all about people and business and being an agent. That was my place in the world. Anyway, we'll probably have to edit all that out because it sounds like I'm being a smug cunt. And I'm not. Talking of which, Xabi Alonso. Yeah. I mean, every football club, especially in the Bundesliga, has struggled with injuries of late. Everyone's been shitting on Vincent Kompany, right? He's been juggling injured players and he's putting a makeshift lineup together. Well, it's happened to Kovac at Dortmund and it's been happening to Xabi Alonso. He's actually managed without Florian Wirtz. Fuck it, yeah. One-man team, aren't they? One-man team. They do get the go-ahead goal from Patrick Schick. It was a well-taken finish. It was very reminiscent of Harry Kane's goal, the go-ahead goal for Munich against Augsburg. You know, Elise puts that cross in and it's a powering header from Harry Kane. Well, it was similar from Harry Schick. Maybe they call him Harry Krishna. Harry Krishna, I believe. Yeah, for Patrick Schick, he gets that go-ahead goal. And then VAR came to the rescue for St. Pauli in that second half where Leverkusen just seemed to not quite switch off, but, you know, Wirtz was having a go at trying to find balls and Xhaka was trying to spread the play and Grimaldo was doing his thing a lot, as was Frimpong down the wings. Nice Castor kit. Again, another kit sponsor that gets shit on, Castor, for making kits that either don't look great or just seem to fall apart. I quite like that Bayer Leverkusen kit, by the way. Yeah, nice and stylish, pretty simple, couple of colours. Anyway, there was a goal that was chalked off by VAR from a corner. And then the actual winning goal from Bock Alpha went through the legs of Hureki in goal for Leverkusen. And that reminded me of being a kid doing a birdie song. Or any song on a dance floor at a kid's party. Even at a wedding. You know, that point in the night where the drinks have hit and you think, oh, I don't mind dancing with Uncle Knobhead. And you do that move on the floor where you sort of inverting your knees and your hands go the opposite direction. That's what Hudrecki looked like. You won't enjoy seeing that back on the replay. And Bayer Leverkusen tried, as you can see here. Look, they threw on ex-Villa Emi Buendia. Armin Adley came on, looked a bit dangerous, as did Victor Boniface, but it wasn't enough because I would have said the hardest working person in that St. Pauli midfield was old Eddie Schmidt, the Swede, next to Buchfaller. And actually I thought, what's his face? Van der Heide was very resolute in defence. Normally I throw loads of data at you, but today, CBA, you know, I'm just going on adrenaline today. We're here for the action. Yeah, we can look at the stats if you like. I mean, it should validate. Well, there you go. There's the reason that Leverkusen didn't get more goals. It's because they only produced 4 shots. Well, 8 shots and 4 of them were on target. That's not a team that's playing to win a championship, is it? I don't think. You know, yes, they did control the possession. They were having more touches and more passes. They were outrun, though, and that's usually Jackson Irvine, isn't it? It's usually Jackson Irvine that's running at least 12 Ks per game. He wasn't there today. Sorry, yesterday. Actually, Sunday. He wasn't there, was he? So it was Daniel Sinani that was sort of going toe-to-toe with Ezekiel Palacios. That is a great name. Yeah, Jonathan Tah won his Jules. However, it didn't affect the result, did it? So not by our maths, because it's still not finished, is it? Let's have a quick recap at the table. Look, 6, 7, 8 points. There's an 8-point gap between Munich and Leverkusen, with just 4 games to go. 4 games to go. 8 points different. By our maths, it's 2 more wins, and that Meisterschale is Bayern Munich. So let's just take a quick look who these respective teams have still got to play. I recall that Munich have got to play Gladbach and Leipzig. 4 games to go. So Munich host Mainz, whose form, well, we'll find out about them very soon. Then they've got to go away to Leipzig, who are pushing to be in the Champions League. To be fair, so are Mainz. Mainz are also competing to be in the Champions League. They've got to host Gladbach, who pushed Dortmund all the way in what we called... And we called out the game of the season. We'll come on to that soon as well. Dortmund hosting Gladbach. We built it up as the game of the season, and we were right. And then their last game, they're away at Hoffenheim, who should be safe come that final game on the 17th of May. Yeah, that's where we are. And if we quickly check to see who Leverkusen have got, fixtures and results, all fixtures. Right, so Leverkusen in matchday 31 will host Augsburg, who themselves are pushing for a European place. Feels like Conference League is pretty much all that's open for them. And as we've said, timeless, numerous times, time after time. I can't remember who sings that though, but it's very 90s, isn't it? It's a female vocal artiste. Augsburg, last season, 23-24 season, they lost 5 of their last 6 games, technically 7 out of their last 8, and from a position of being in Europe, on the cusp of it, clapping great words. Let us know your favourite words, by the way. Cusp, cadence, plume, they're three of our favourite words, and they can all be sort of shoehorned into football and social live commentary. Augsburg were on the cusp of Europe last year, but because they lost 5 out of the last 6, 7 out of the last 8, they dropped like a stone and finished in 11th place. They're currently, well, going into this weekend, they're in 10th. So it feels like, get back on point, Craig, Conference League. Europa is a stretch target. You remember them stretch targets in your workplace when you're at school, at university? It's a stretch target. Want to finish in the Europa League. Conference League, I think, is where Augsburg will finish up. Then Leverkusen have got to travel to Freiburg, who are themselves, I think Europa League for them. Champions League will be a stretch target for Julian Schuster and co. Leverkusen got to host Dortmund again, and I'm going to scrap that and just say, yeah, we think Dortmund will end up in the Champions League spot. They'll put it together, they'll pull it around. And then Leverkusen have got to host Mainz, who might have already been killed off by Munich. Actually, I don't think you should worry about those last 2 games. 2 more wins to Munich, regardless of what Leverkusen do, and the title could all be sewn up. I say sewn up. The title could be over by May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. May the 4th be with you. I don't know why I'm doing that.